Have you ever experienced loss? I don't mean losing a pen, money, none of those material stuff that we want or even need. I mean when you lose something that hurts and makes a hole in your heart. The Free Dictionary defines loss as the condition of being deprived and bereft for something, on someone, or someone, concentrating on the someone. Of course, I hope you haven't had even the slightest chance of feeling this way, but in case you have, there are some questions I'd like to ask you. Are you still thinking about it? Has this event taken place a long time ago, or was it recently? In some cases, the only people that know are your family or friends, but in some special cases, news travels fast, and it takes just an afternoon for it to be known by the whole world. And that was my case. But we will go back to that later. First, allow me to take you all back to 2016. I was 9 years old. One morning, while I was getting ready for school, my mother approached me and said, "Well, as you know, your great-grandma was very ill and..." "Did she die?" I asked. "Yes," she answered. But as I didn't know her so much because we lived far from almost my whole family, her death didn't hurt so much. It was not like for my cousins who spent much more time with her. Then, 1 year ago, I was 13 years old, my dog suddenly grew feeble and was never the same. She had a severe anemia. We transfused her at least 5 times. We did everything we could to help her. One day I thought it was her last, and so I said goodbye. Sadly, I was right. The thought of losing her had always passed through my mind. She was treated for an entire month. We all knew it would happen eventually. I believe that being aware of her state and the chances she had of living made her death less painful because I was certain that she was in a better place. And last but certainly not least, we will go back again to 2017. It was quite a public event. Almost everyone, and I mean everyone, knew about this. I'm talking about the submarine Ara San Juan. It was part of the Argentinian force, and my father was the first commander. They had gone all the way to Tierra del Fuego, an Argentinian province, and had already set sail back to Mar del Plata, where I live. As the life of anyone who is in the army, he traveled a lot, either with us or alone. The day our family was informed that communication had been cut, some of my father's friends came to tell us. Fancy being watching TV in the middle of the night in your mother's bed, and suddenly the bell rings. Who would ring the bell in the middle of the night? Those who bring important news. As soon as I saw them, I felt worried. I had the feeling something had happened. But I was told it was nothing I should be scared about. Then, 1 week later, I got home, and as soon as I entered, I saw my mother and brother hugging. When they let go of each other, crying eyes appeared on my mother's face. And then she said the most horrible words that, for me, could be said. There was an explosion captured by some raiders, and the place was where the submarine should have been. My eyes flooded with tears I couldn't control. At that moment, the whole world stopped, or at least for me. Just imagine a 10-year-old who just lost her father. I am confident that many people in the whole world have had this experience. Their father, mother, daughter, son went away and would never come back. Many countries joined together to help Argentina look for it, but none of them was lucky. One day, like any other, I got home from school and was told they had found it. I had literally thought about this moment since the search started, but never thought it would be true. Ships that had been missing for 30 years were appearing. I thought that in at least 30 years they would find them. But no, only 1 year later it was confirmed by the pictures of the torpedoes of the ship constructor, a ship that helped with the research. It was kind of a relief since I had the expectation of him coming back to us, or that they had been captured, or any other theory you can imagine. Now I think of all the things I would like him to do, but he can't. Does that hurt? Of course it does. But as 4 intense years have passed, I am better. It has been no magic though. I've had a lot of help from my family, from my friends, not to mention everyone who knew my father. I am currently in therapy, and having someone to talk to really helps. I was concerned that my own feelings would make my other family members feel even worse. There are some days better and worse than others, as always. Still, if this horrible experience has taught me anything, it's that nothing is worthy of total sadness. There are times when one wishes to be alone. Even though it was not my situation, it is totally understandable. But don't let your friends, nor let yourself suffer alone. Sharing helps. I'm not saying everyone has to know. Find someone you trust. The one person that got me and my whole family through it all was my mother. She is my hero. From the first minute, she concentrated on my older siblings and I, and what we needed. Never stopped working, always looking after us. I couldn't have been able to get up and keep on going if she had not been there. I cannot say she filled the hole that this year made, but she was definitely the needle and thread that sewed it all back together. Now, let's think about the questions I asked before. The reason that I made them was to make you think about the answers you would have given me at that precise moment and now. Perhaps you're still thinking about it because it was not a long time ago and you're still processing your loss. I am. But let me make something clear. It is okay to feel sad, and it is okay to ask for help. I've been told by many that time helps you heal. It might vary depending on the person, but it is true, at least if you make it true. Don't stay in the black hole forever and do what you need to keep going. Thank you.